Still.
Stats carriered his way into Code S. And now we have our losers match between the Best and Coca. Both players getting absolutely demolished, crushed, grind into just nothingness like by their opponents. It was possibly the... there's no... I don't even think this is an opinion. These two best of threes we saw from these guys were the most one-sided best of threes we've seen this whole season so far.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I think Terran players are getting a little bit nervous.
Yes.
Because if Coca steps it up, if he steps it up now in the Terran and the Zerg vs Terran matchup, there is a chance that we will not see a single Terran advance out of this group. And that would leave the Terran count in Code S still at 2. The Best is going up against Coca. He can change things, of course. He can make sure that we are going to see a TBT in the consolation match where Supernova is currently waiting for his next opponent. But Coca, he might be a little bit too strong here. He has to step it up though, because in game number 1 he didn't really look good against his meching opponent. The Zubu player, Supernova, really crushed him there. But let's see if Coca can step it up, or if the Best is the one to take this series. It is a loser's match here as the GSL Code A. Coca going up against the Best. And our Terran player here to the left side of the screen looked a little bit helpless against Stats in his first best of 3. Let's see what he has up his sleeves in game number 2, or matchup number 2 that he has to play today. Here the GSL Code A on Habitation Station, our first map, Coca versus the Best, brought to you by Colin Wolf.
Coca versus the Best.
Starting to the top right, we have the Best. He got annihilated in his first best of 3 by Stats. What is he gonna do in the Terran versus Zerg matchup now, though? He's going up against his Zerg opponent, starting to the top left of Habitation Station in blue. It is a Coca from Jinak Green Wings. Not really successful against Supernova. The meching Terran showed him who's boss. But now it's time for a very different Zerg versus Terran, arguably. I doubt that we're gonna see mech from the Best.
I don't think we will, but he might, because it's really popular right now, and it's getting a little bit better figured out. We'll see what he wants to do. He's gonna drop that. Oh, well, he's
not
denied.
Oh, gets denied here for a second. A bit of a delayed barracks here, and of course that drone immediately trying to harass the SCV a little bit. There's the gas taken, and something that of course Coca already saw with this drone.
Yep. And he's actually gonna keep harassing, forcing another SCV to be pulled. It takes 3 SCVs to build a barracks against a drone scout. And I think he could actually kill that drone. Does not turn around in time though. Good micro from Coca. And we'll get away. Difference being that Coca's hit points do come back and the Best's hit points will not without repair. And it cost him money.
Well, for now we have the hatch first start here for Coca, and the Best is already starting to find out what's going on. Spawning pool just now dropped, and the Overlord is still in the main base, double checking what exactly is being built here. I guess there's no doubt that we're going to see a Reaper at the start, and there it is already with the gas opening. There's kind of nothing else that you can do. Well, there are a few things that you can do, but nobody does that. At least not in this matchup. You want to have that early Reaper, you want to have the scouting information, and Coca is getting his own gas back at home for the earlier speed.
Earlier speed, and look at that little wall here set up by Coca between his extractors. Going to be able to help shut down a run-by if it happens. The thing about this matchup for Terran players who are watching this is that they know that if the Best wins this series, then a Terran player advances no matter what. So if you're a Zerg fan or a Coca fan, which I feel there's a ton of Coca fans out there watching this, hoping that he's going to get through, then you don't want that to happen. But for Terran fans, you're rooting for the Best hardcore right now.
Yeah, we could potentially... The maximum amount of Terran players that we could see in Code S next season is 7.
Yeah.
Before this series started, before we had this, it was 6, but now it could be... sorry, it was 8, but now a potential maximum of 7 is still possible. Right now we have the 2 queens being built. He's probably going to go into at least one additional one. Wants to have those Zerglings on creep, that's why he waits a little bit longer until the creep spreads. And he doesn't really have to engage the Reaper before the Reaper starts attacking drones, because one Reaper is never going to kill a hatch.
Yeah, and he's not going to kill a Zergling either if he just runs away.
Yeah, he doesn't have to attack. Like, you can just sit there, wait for the queens. As soon as the queens are out, the Reapers have to retreat, and that's exactly what happens here. So the best not even killing a Zergling.
He's actually fighting a little bit here. He's going to get one Zergling.
Yep.
And that's just a small victory, but he's going to the factory at home, second gas.
Huh?
Well, I think he's going to go back, actually.
It's a good map for mech. We've seen a lot of mech games in Terran vs. Zerg on this map. I thought he would go into a more aggressive build and try to like really go for early aggression here, maybe even. That's the style that we saw against Stats, but it's definitely something that he could do here. Didn't expect it, but yeah, he could definitely go for a mech build. It's not bad on this map at all.
He's going to go ahead and pick off this Overlord. That's really annoying for Koka. A little bit actually of a mistake to stick around that long, I think.
Well, there comes the starport already, and it looks like we're going to see a tech lab. Yep, there it is, at the barracks. So we might see once more just Banshees coming into the game at the beginning of the match. On the other hand, Koka still on 2 bases, has his Overlord spread out quite well, so he will see a Banshee coming into his own mains very soon, and he's actually going for Roach Warren right away.
Yeah, he's playing the super safe. He's learned already from what happened in the previous series against Supernova that making a Roach Warren just makes this so much easier for you. He cannot take the third base that's a gold base against this type of play. It's way too far away. It will not happen. It just cannot be done. Actually pulls 2 Harvesters out of gas here. Oh, no, unintentional it looks like. I was going to say, that's going to hurt him a little bit.
There comes the Cloak upgrade now for the Banshee. And I mean, right now for Koka, with the Roach Warren, he is definitely going to be fine against the ground army. We have in total, I think, 3 queens now. A 4th queen is being built that will help against the Banshees a lot. And this is one of the things that he really struggled with when he was facing Supernova earlier. So he's already preparing. Overlord got scouting information off at the beginning, and he sends another Overlord now into the main base of his opponent from the right side. And that Overlord sees already that there are Banshees being built.
Yeah, if you're the best right now, you're thinking, okay, as soon as you see the Roaches, you think, okay, well, he's making Roaches, so I can't stop his third base, but his third base is late, so that's okay. But it's definitely a safer way to play it for Koka.
Let's talk about a few things that Koka didn't see. He didn't see the armory, and he also didn't see the 3rd command center. So this is information that is currently missing. He knows that he has to defend against Banshees first, but he doesn't know about this 3rd base. He takes the 3rd on his own.
Cloak is cancelled, so he's going to have to run away here.
Banshee's not doing anything here. I'm actually asking myself if the cancel and the Cloak is really still worth it now that it's only 100. I feel that the upgrade, if you go for Banshees anyways, is a good thing to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the gas that he saves here is not worth it right now for anything. He makes 1 siege tank, but he would have had enough to make that anyways.
And he's committing to a 2nd Banshee too, so...
yeah, I think actually keeping the Cloak in most cases is okay. It's an interesting choice for sure that he cancels it, because it's gonna be useful later on if he really wants to commit to mech, against Swarm Host, just harassing, trying to kill bases. He probably will restart it, in fact, later on in this game. He just wanted the gas for something else for now.
Xel'Wat Naga Watchtower in the middle of the map is still taken by Koka. The Banshee just hovering around at the gold base, trying to find out if there's an attempt by Koka to take that and drop another hatch. Not the case right now.
Hydra Den goes up this time, but this time it's a much better Hydra Den than we saw previously because he doesn't take any early damage.
Yeah, so now he can really try to just overwhelm his opponent.
Here come the Hellions around this side. It's just trying to control that Watchtower constantly. Without Cloak, these Banshees just are not worth anything. They really aren't.
We have also Thor started really early. You usually don't see Thor started this fast in the game unless you expect a spy up play of your opponent. Normally we see a lot more siege tanks at the beginning. There's currently only 1 siege tank because you are very vulnerable against ground army at the beginning if you don't get your siege tanks out. Thors later on are absolutely amazing with upgrades and in bigger numbers, but at this point it's quite the risk that he takes there, and the +1/+1 has been started for Koka as well as the range upgrade for the Hydra, as you already said.
He's got 2 Widow Mines here to help against run-bys. I like that choice for Bunker full of Marines. Going to go ahead and drop a 4th command center as he moves the CC over. Not a lot that Koka can do to attack this command center location, except with those Zerglings, which just happen to be unscouted. I mean, if he had units over here, this would do nothing, but as it is now that he sees it, he's still going to be able to land that command center.
Koka is also going into Infestation Pit. That helps him to go into Hive, go for Vipers, and he could also go for Swarm Host. But we have him also with the drop ability that he already showed us when he was playing against Supernova. Never really came into play that much, but he can now drop on top of siege tanks too, and the siege tank count is still very, very low.
Oh, there he goes, gets it. The siege tank count very low, only at 2. And the Thor that he has right now is not useful because there's no Needless. I mean, yeah, it does do a decent amount of damage very quickly to small groups of units, but we're going to see possibly a big commitment to those ranged units very soon. It's not going to be useful at all against Stormhost, for example, which I think we will see later on possibly in this game, but not for a little while. Roach speed, he can start 2-2. Now that he's got the layer up, he's already got 1-1. +2 attack for the best, though, already on the way. He's only sticking with 1 armory, though, so that slows down his upgrades quite a bit.
Yeah, he's missing the overload speed. He still didn't start that, and it's really about time if he wants to hit that together with the drop ability for his overloads.
This run-by is actually scouted, but not deflected yet. He's going to have to move his roaches over defensively at that third base.
There's a lot of creep on the map, a lot of vision. Here comes the speed upgrade for the overlords, and the one for the roaches is about to be finished. He has a lot of roaches already in the game. He's ahead in the army supply, and he's just getting more and more roaches. And with a good drop, he can do a lot here. We have double siege tank production now for the best, but his siege tank count is really not all that high, considering that he has to cover 3 bases and not only 2 at this point. He's getting more production now in the game, and he has a nice income, so he can really support that. But we have Koka now in the spot where it doesn't line up like perfectly for him, but a drop with roaches and attack at the front can do a lot. If he sends a few more units over to the third base, he could really start to cripple the best economy here.
Yeah, he could. I really don't like that he doesn't start 2-2. I think that I mean, if he wants to just commit to this timing and this timing alone, then I guess it doesn't matter as much, but he's getting a hive, so like, why not start the 2-2?
Well, I actually think that he wanted to plan this with the maxed out on 1-1 and drop, but he just like screwed the timing up a little bit, so it wasn't as crisp as he wanted it to be, but that's the idea that he has behind it, and just have a follow-up tech ready for that.
Well, here we go. This is so far unscouted by Supernova. He has no idea this is coming. And roaches are going to go to the third base. Meanwhile, this is a great choice.
Yeah, the best is going to be in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, a bit I think might be an understatement. He's actually killing his own SCVs here with his siege tanks, not moving them into the main base where he needs some Banshees alone to defend this.
He wants to drop the Hydras are there. All of the tanks can't really do that. He's controlling the choke point if he can. That 1-4 is not doing anything. That's 5 siege tank. That is absolutely not enough.
Not even close, and he's not going to have any more than that because the ones that are popping out are dying instantly, and the best is basically checkmated here. Look at the supply. He's not going to have anything else.
There's nothing for him. He's supply block 2 and heavily supply block at that. Now the production is being taken out, and if you're a mech player, you need that production. GG.
That was just like not scouting the drop and not having enough tanks, and goodbye.
That was... Yeah, Koka didn't even have to like hit that timing perfectly.
He didn't even have to kill him with
You could really see that like speed for the Overlords didn't really line up with the drop ability and the upgrades as he wanted it to, but it's still, he lost a few seconds there, and in another match that can really kill you, but there it worked so well for him. I mean, drop in the main base and game over. Not enough siege tanks, the siege tank is also a little bit out of position.
This game highlights, and I think the second game here will possibly as well, the difference in skill between Supernova and the best when it comes to mech, and in general, but when it comes to mech, man, Supernova's play is really solid. He's been doing it for a lot longer than most people, and in televised matches as well. Koka's like going to play this one at a sideways angle.
That's his handicap for the next game. He has to tilt his head the entire match.
It's like he's like typing to the admins. He's like, "Oh, my monitor is sideways. Can you help me?" Koka keeps the Jenner Greenwich jacket open. I like that.
You know, this showcases a little bit how strong Supernova is with his mech strategy against Zerg. We've seen a mech strategy from the best and one for Supernova, and there are miles between the two of them.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see if the best can tie this up.